To make you aware, this podcast will contain conversations around mental health and well-being and could include issues of a sensitive nature. This is a podcast from Torfaen Talks CIC.
Well, hello.
Hello.
It's the first one.
It's the first podcast of many, I hope, of Torfaen Talks CIC podcast.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Sophie. And in this podcast, we're going to be covering mental health and well-being, and especially in your area of Torfaen, finding out what's going on in your local community and what helps you with your mental health and well-being.
So, Torfaen Talks CIC. Shall we explain a little bit what it's all about?
I think it would also help us to know what it is as well.
I think it would too, yeah. There's three different elements, I suppose, isn't there? The one main part is well-being and mental health, and within that we have wellbeing drop-ins.
We have wellbeing drop-ins that are going to be covering Torfaen. So we've got pop-up locations from Cwmbran to Pontypool to Blanavon, and they're going to be drop-in sessions where you can just come in, ask us some questions, being pointed in the right direction of where you can go for your mental health and well-being, because there's lots of various groups and activities in the area that will help you with your mental health and well-being. If it's a case that you feel that counselling could be the right route for you, then we have a low-cost counselling service, which is a pay-as-you-can scheme. There is a minimum charge to it, which if you look on the website, that will be on there for you. If that is also an issue, then please get in touch with us, and I'm sure we can work around it. But that also, those counselling sessions are at pop-up locations across Torfaen.
And from that, we talk then about some activities and services as well, don't we? That we also, this is part of that. You know, this podcast is all about delivering information across the borough.
Absolutely. And it's about engagement, isn't it? Because your mental health and well-being isn't just about going to the gym or going to see a counsellor. It's also about engaging with your community. Community spirit is one of the biggest things to engaging with for your mental health. So it makes sense if we create this podcast. It's not about you just listening to our voices, which hopefully is nice, but hopefully you also want to engage as well. So you will have an opportunity to get in touch with us and have your voice on the podcast as well.
Because that's exactly what we're looking for, really. What will this actually sound like, you know, after this little trailer?
Exactly.
What will the podcast sound like? You know, what's going to be involved with it? Is it going to be just us? Are we going to be going to events? Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Are we also going to be talking with different organisations across Torfaen? Yes, we are. And we want your voice as well. You know, we have little ideas along the way, which we will tell you in due course, I'm sure.
Absolutely, but we also want to hear from you guys, the people of Torfaen, telling us what you would like in place in regards to activities and in regards to groups. Like, what would you like on your doorstep? Because this is the reason we set up Torfaen Talks CIC, is because we don't only offer our counselling sessions and our group works and our podcast just in the day. We're not just 9-to-5 workers. We are putting these things in place outside of those hours as well. So our counselling sessions are also outside of the 9-to-5 hours, as our groups are as well, because your mental health isn't 9-to-5, and neither are we, as our slogan says. We're not like Dolly Parton. We're not 9-to-5. Only wish I was Dolly Parton, but we can't be. You know, mental health doesn't just switch off at 5 o'clock. I wish it did, but for a lot of people, you know, mental health and well-being is a really hard struggle, and it is hard to get out. And, you know, a lot of services that are fantastic services throughout Torfaen, but a lot of them are in the day, and a lot of people who need those services also work those 9-to-5s. So for us, it's about putting those things in place and helping people that also work as well as those who don't. And
we're talking about organisations now. If you're an organisation and you think, I'd like to be featured on this podcast, well, just get in touch with us. The website is torfaentalkscic.org.uk. You can find us on socials as well, on Facebook and on Instagram. Plus, you can email hello@torfaentalks.cic.org.uk. cic.org.uk.
You can indeed. Yeah, get in touch. If you want to feature, have a conversation with us, even if it's just a conversation about your own mental health and wellbeing, because we will be covering our own mental health during these podcasts as well as what's going on in our community. So get in touch as an organisation. Let us know what you're doing for your own mental health and wellbeing, as well as engaging with the community as well.
So the big question in doing this podcast, and it's a question really in a conversation we've had off mic, do we swear?
Well, it's a conversation I just asked you, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to say that May is going to be a busy bugger.
Yeah.
And then it brought up, do we swear?
Do we swear? I think we get away with bugger.
I think so. I don't think we could allow more than that. Equally, it started a conversation when I was just saying, well, in my counselling sessions, I allow my clients to swear because I believe then they're not holding anything back. They're just being authentically themselves and describing how they are feeling or what it is that they're thinking, even if that's words that maybe not allowed on this podcast. Yeah. But they're allowing that expression of themselves and that emotion, because I don't want them to feel they're not able to be themselves. That's putting a boundary between me and them. So yeah. I don't encourage it, but I encourage them to be themselves.
Okay, let's talk more then about May, because May, there's a weekend.
It's a busy bugger.
It's a busy bugger. It's Mental Health Awareness Week in May, isn't it?
It is.
13th of May?
13th of May. I believe, we're going to the Blaenavon Community Wellbeing Day, and that's on the 11th of May.
On the Saturday?
On the Saturday. So that's the lead up to Wellbeing Week, really. Okay. So it's the Mental Health Awareness Week. So there's lots going to be going on. So we're going to be there firstly, so on the Blaenavon Community Wellbeing Day at the Heritage Centre. So the Blaenavon World Heritage Centre, I should say. And there's going to be not only us there, but lots of organisations there that are for the community and for the wellbeing and mental health of the community. And the day itself, I'm just looking at the activity timetable, is, oh my goodness, there is so much going on. They are the busy buggers, because there's wellbeing stories and crafting sessions done by Torfaen Library. There's a Zumba session going on. Yeah, Zumba sessions.
Hang on a second. I'm there. You're not getting me doing Zumba. No way. No.
Well, I'll do it because I love it. All movement is good movement. Okay. But then it goes on to cookie decorating as well. So
I'll do that.
Cookies or Zumba. Cookies or Zumba. But also, what I think is a fantastic way of inclusivity. I can't say the word. Inclusivity. That's not the right word. It's being inclusive.
Being inclusive,
is chair-based strength work as well.
Wow.
So exercising, if it's chair-based. Throughout the whole day, they've got balloon modelling, they've got go-karting there, they've got face painting, but there's also some wellbeing massage and just lots of sports and activities there. So come along. It's absolutely free, this event. I can't believe that, but it's absolutely free. Come and have a conversation with us, or go-karting, or try some Zumba. I would recommend all of it for your wellbeing. But that's on Saturday the 11th of May, and it's free to pop along, and that's between 11 a.m. in the morning till 3 in the afternoon.
It's a busy bugger of a day. And the
go-karting apparently is going to be there as well. So I don't think I'm going to see you for dust, because that's what you're going to be doing.
And we are hoping to be doing this podcast at that event.
At that event as well. So hopefully we'll be able to have conversations with a lot of the organisations there. Also talking to the public as well, because we want you guys as part of our podcast, and finding out what they think of the event as well. So that would be really good.
And then later in that week in Cwmbran Library.
We're Cwmbran Library on the Tuesday the 14th of May, and that's between 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And there's going to be lots of organisations there that's promoting what they do for mental health and wellbeing.
What exactly is going on? Is it like pod planting or something like that?
There is, that's what's really nice about this. So there is going to be some Pilates going on, and I
probably believe that's going to be with the gorgeous Kay. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm sure whoever's running it is lovely anyway. So that's 11:30 in the morning till 12:30. So there's Pilates. So if you don't know what Pilates is, it's very much like of a yoga vibe, but more around stretching and very gentle. I think that's what's quite nice of it. So again, it's that focus on that the theme this year for Mental Health Awareness Week is movement. So I think Pilates is a lovely way into it. Later on then in the afternoon, between 2 and 3, they've got a mindfulness session. So I'm not sure what organisation is running that one. Mindfulness, it just brings you to the here and now and helps you to focus on what the present, really, more than the busyness of life and what's going on and the stresses of everyday life that we all have. And then what I think is really lovely is that between 11 a.m. in the morning until 2, so this is running throughout the day, is that there's some pot planting going on. And I think that's really nice because, yes, the theme is movement, but we move without realising we're moving. I think when it comes to movement, we think of going for a run or going to the gym, and it automatically brings on dread with a lot of people when you discuss that. You never regret going for a walk or regret going for a run or regret going to the gym, but the thought of doing it, firstly, gives a little dread to people, doesn't it? And especially if you're having some mental health concerns. But when it comes to pot planting and gardening, it's just overall well-being with that, just to see what you've achieved by planting something and nurturing it and looking after it. But there's movement with that as well.
It's calm, it's kind of serene, and it's happening on Tuesday. So that's the 2 events then, one in Blenavon on the Saturday, then on the Tuesday in Cwmbran.
Exactly, busy buggers, as we said.
Because not only will we be doing the events, we're also doing our own events and our own sessions, which would be our mental health and wellbeing drop-ins. As I described earlier, you can just pop along to one of those sessions, which are at pop-up locations throughout Torfaen. Get in touch to know where we will be and when, because they will be outside of office hours currently. So get in touch to find out more on our website.
Torfaen Talks CIC.org.uk.
Yeah, see, that was a test.
That was a test,
because I can't remember it. But yeah, please have a little look on there for more information. Email with any inquiries or any queries at all that you have about Torfaen Talks CIC, and just get in touch. Our counselling sessions are all done through referral form on the website itself, and those sessions are run throughout the day and in the evening, but again, in pop-up locations throughout Torfaen. So if you feel counselling is the best route for you, then please go onto our website and the referral form is on there.
I think, like you said earlier, mental health is 9 to 5. And that's the one thing we've kind of found when we've been putting this together.
Yeah.
Is not many things happening after hours, or you have to be unemployed. Our ethos is we're inclusive for everybody over the age of 18, aren't we?
Yes, yeah. Currently over the age of 18. I'm hoping as things progress, then we can do under 18s as well. But for now, we've got to start at our grassroots, and this is where we're at. So over 18, because, you know, mental health doesn't discriminate against anybody, and I wish that it did, but it doesn't discriminate at all. It doesn't matter what age you are, what gender you are, you know, if you're at a low ebb, it is there. And that's why we set this non-profit organisation up with Torfaen Talks CIC, is because we are passionate about community. We were also passionate about looking after our own mental health and well-being and helping others with their mental health and well-being, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of listening to that depressive voice that we have, or that anxious voice that we have. We all have it, but it's just depending how loud it is in our head at that time. I know for me, when I had depression and anxiety when I was much, much younger, there wasn't really that support in place at all. I know it was the 90s, but there wasn't any support in place during that time for young people. It's good that there's organisations to help young people now, but that wasn't available when I was younger. So for me, mental health just took over my life. So much so that, I wasn't even able to speak half the time. I know you can't believe that listening to me on this podcast now.
No.
But it was really difficult. I couldn't really leave the house at some parts of my life, and especially on my own, I wouldn't be able to leave the house. I always had to have somebody with me. So I understand what it's like to have depression and anxiety take over your life and have such a chokehold on you that you're not able to get out of your bedroom. So let alone, doing anything else.
Yeah.
So getting out of bed would be an accomplishment for me for that day. And I get that when people say that. For me, we set up this so people were able to, in work or not in work, be able to access the support that they deserve. Because for me, if you're looking for mental health support, it is very expensive when you start looking.
Yeah.
And, on average in the UK, is to hire a counsellor privately is about £50 at the cheapest. I'd say £45 to £50 is the cheapest for an hour session. So we won't be charging anything near that, but anything that we do charge, it goes straight back into the business anyway. It goes then to helping somebody else have that mental health support. So it is just recognizing, we always put our mental health last. Yeah, that's what we all do. So we just put this organization in place just to help the not the organization. What's what I'm looking for? The community.
I think what you're saying about the black dog you're talking about. Wasn't it Winston Churchill?
Oh, yeah.
The famously, he had a black dog?
Yes. So depression has many names. Many I probably can't see on here. But depression is very much known worldwide, really, as the black dog. Yeah. Because it is a very large black dog that you can't get off you if it's sat on you. So that is what depression gets known as. And Winston Churchill was a famous person to have the black dog, as he would call it. And that's where the expression comes from. This black dog is from Winston Churchill because he suffered from depression and anxiety. And he very famously would stay in bed until midday and then do his work afterwards. So, when people think that, people with mental health, depression and anxiety are unable to work and things like that, there are times where it is cripplingly so that you're unable to work. I understand that. But it's about working what works well for you. And people, I know society's got a lot to catch up with that, but if we can work well together with people's mental health and well-being, and especially when it comes to volunteering, it's a fantastic thing to get into that. But once that depression, that black dog takes over, it can be very hard and very difficult to shift it, but it's about reducing it. I always say to a lot of my clients, it's about talking through that black dog and changing them from a very big black Labrador to a very small black Chihuahua that you can carry around, and it's just much more manageable. I don't know any other dog types really, but I'm glad I know those two. One's very big and one's very small if you don't know those breeds of dogs. But you can just carry it, because unfortunately when you have depression, it's very easy to fall back into depression. So it's about having that awareness and recognizing what are your tropes to when it is there, and recognizing your own mental health. What are your signs that you're not really feeling your best?
Yeah, and I think on this podcast in due course, across each episode, I think we'll talk more about mental health and tips and things like that.
Absolutely, I think, not only, I'll be offering tips and tricks and what you can put as a little tool inside your toolkit to help you with your mental health and well-being, but I'll be sharing those tips and tricks, but we'll have other organizations come in and help what's helped them as well, and just what's helping you on a day-to-day basis, really.
So we talked a little bit about your experience, and I'm sure in future episodes we'll talk about my kind of experiences with mental health, and we'll explain a little bit more about us, who we are, and the kind of things that get us through the day. And we also want as well on these podcasts for people to get involved, aren't we?
We do, but the point of these podcasts is not just to listen to you and I talk about ourselves.
Why not?
I know. know.
Yeah, shocking.
But it's also about getting the voices of the people of Torfaen telling us about their mental health and well-being and their concerns around it, what they do to help with their mental health and well-being, what do they do to help with their mental health on a day-to-day basis, are they going to any groups that they find really good for their mental health and well-being that they want to share, is there activities and events that you want to see, then we are giving you the opportunity to go onto our WhatsApp. You can leave us a voice note.
You've got a WhatsApp. This is news to me. Awesome, okay.
We do. We have a WhatsApp, and you have the opportunity to leave a voice note. So if you want your voice on this podcast, you can leave us a voice note. But if you don't want your voice on it, then you can just leave us a normal text within that, and we will read that out. That's not a problem. But our number is, our WhatsApp number, so if you go onto your WhatsApp app and then look for, so the number is 07851 138 610.
Perfect. That number then is the number for you to send us a voice note or a text. We do want to get people's voices on this podcast. Mm-hmm. It's not just about us. It is actually about, the idea of this podcast is to get other voices, to get the people from across Torfaen on and to hear their experiences about well-being, mental health, and and what they want to hear and what they want as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And because this is about you and what we can be doing in our community to build up the community spirit and the well-being, it is so important. It's reaching out to people, reducing that loneliness, and it impacts on everybody. So yeah, share your thoughts.
We'd love to hear from you in whatever way. Do you know that's our first podcast done?
It is.
I know. And this time we have had no cat from next door in either.
No, we've not seen it. It's sunny today, so I think that's probably why.
Yeah, now we've got the event in Blaenavon, and then obviously in Cwmbran, as we touched upon earlier, and we have our drop-ins as well.
Yes, yeah, we do. So, we do have our mental health and wellbeing drop-ins. At the moment, they're the first Saturday of the month at Co-Star at Fairwater Shops, and then the first Tuesday of the month in the evening. If you're looking for some support outside of those working hours, then we're going to be at the Recover Ed Centre at the Queen's Inn pub, and that's in Upper Cwmbran. So, yeah, but if you feel that you need support with your mental health and wellbeing before those dates, we will have pop-up locations, but if you don't feel you can wait and look for those locations, then please go onto our website.
It's Torfaen Talks CIC.org.uk, or of course all the other information about what we're up to is all on our socials, on Facebook and on Instagram too.
It is, so please go and have a little look at that and get in touch as well with the WhatsApp that we've just said about.
But in the meantime, that's it done. I can't believe we've done the first one.
We have. Well, look after each other, everyone. Look after your well-being as best that you can, and we shall speak with you and hopefully see you at these events very soon.
Bye now.
Bye. If you'd like to be involved in the podcast, please message or voice note on WhatsApp. Our number is 07851 138 610. This is a podcast from Torfaen Talks CIC.